I'm joined now by Nancy Heburn, School Crossing Guard Supervisor, Wayne Smith, School Crossing Guard Coordinator Assistant, and St. Johns County Sheriff Robert Hardwick. Welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for having us.
Thanks to all of you for being here. Sheriff, we hear a lot about improving school safety. All too often, that seems to focus on something like a school shooting. St. Johns County's obviously been very fortunate in that regard, but safety is a big issue.
It is, and of course, here in the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office with our partnership with the St. Johns County School District, and of course, horrific incidents happening like, of course, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, where legislature has changed. Like, now, of course, we have, of course, under Alyssa's law, we have the strategic program, here in St. Johns County. So we're doing things a little bit different down there with our real-time intelligence center, our license plate readers, just for trying to detect these children. But the most important is our school crossing guard program, which adds that element of to and from school. So in St. Johns County, of course, we have 68 school crossing guards. We have supervision, of course, on top of that. We have 2 supervisors and assistant supervisor. And those men and women are just so incredible. I mean, they actually have 20 posts. Most of those are elementary schools. Some of those are middle schools and K through 8s. And then additionally, with that being said, they have 98 posts to get these kids to and from. So as being one of the fastest growing counties, of course, in the state, we got to protect that 54,000 plus children.
And crossing guards they're kind of central in terms of they're almost like a first line. They're having direct contact with students. They can sometimes spot things if, they see something amiss. I mean, they're really kind of integral to that connection between students and the school administrators.
That's one thing, too, of course, again, with that legislature change, too, as well, with a youth resource deputy sheriff now in every one of our public schools in St. Johns County. This is another added element of eyes and ears, of course, that can, that are familiar with these kids, familiar with those normal vehicles that come to and from the schools. They know who these parents are. The parents know who they are. So, again, it's just another layer of protection of just, again, additional eyes and ears for the St. Johns County to protect our children and our parents.
Nancy Heburn, as the school crossing guard supervisor for St. Johns County, tell me a little bit about that. Why is it that this school patrol work is under the sheriff's office? I often think of it. I mean, I think of being as a school patrol when I was in elementary school. It's a different line of work now.
This is a paid position through the sheriff's office. Help me.
Oh, that's okay. So,
I mean,
these the school crossing guards, of course, in St. Johns County, they're part-time positions. They make $18, I think, and 2 cents an hour.
1942.
Oh, we upped it. That's right. So they've been the sheriff. Super excited, by the way. We upped that amount. Sorry, go ahead, Nancy.
And
why is it under the umbrella of the sheriff's office? I guess is what I'm wondering. I mean, I think of
for the most part, they are under the umbrella of law enforcement. So there are only a few school crossing guard programs that are not under law enforcement.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so is it difficult? I know you say that the pay rate just went up, but is it difficult to recruit crossing guards?
It's a great part-time job for either stay-at-home moms or dads, retirees. It's a great part-time job. You're not going to get rich off of it, but it's a great part-time job that gives you time in between shifts to do your normal shopping and things like that, laundry and things that you want to do.
So Wayne Smith, what is the role of a crossing guard?
Basically is to get the cool kids to school and from school in a safe manner, educate them on the proper procedures of crossing so that later on in life they have that knowledge to cross safely in a crosswalk.
Mm-hmm. And so you've got a very rapidly growing school district. I was looking at some numbers from 2010. The student population of St. Johns County, at that time it was 30,000, and now it's more than 50,000. That's a 65% increase. Mm-hmm. Sheriff, has the budget kept up with that?
Yeah, so with the school crossing guard program, of course, we actually fund that independently through the Board of County Commissioners in our regular general fund. What the school district does in St. Johns County is they pay 70% of our youth resource deputy sheriff's compensation and benefits. But as far as the school crossing guard program, which is just over about $1.2 million budget a year, that's something we believe in. That's us providing a service back to our community again, trying to get those kids safely to and from school. So far, so good. We've been keeping up with it. As a matter of fact, I was at a focus group meeting yesterday with the St. Johns County School District where they're projecting another 47% increase, of course, in their population. Of course, we're just not slowing down. But with that being said, and to say what Supervisor Heburn said, I mean, we've kept up with recruiting and retention in our school crossing guards, which is so unique. There's no benefits. They work under 29 hours, of course, with the federal labor laws. So they have no benefits. They come in the morning time. They get these kids to school at 98 posts. They all go home for a few hours and come back out again in the afternoon to get these kids from school back, of course, home.
And it's a funny shift because you're working kind of mornings and evenings at the same post. Is that right?
That's
exactly. Exactly.
But it's just like 3 hours a day if you're only working a single post.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it is something that could be
Single school, yes. If you work a single school, it's like 3 hours a day. Yeah.
Wayne.
Yeah, it's 2.9 hours for a single post and 5.8 for a double post.
So why are you trying to get the word out today about hiring?
Because although it's a great part-time job, we still have a little bit of turnover every year, and so therefore we're trying to get ahead of the game so that we are not have vacant positions.
Mm-hmm. Is it a job that does it have physical requirements? Is it a job that has danger associated with it? I mean, obviously traffic is a tough thing, right?
Sure.
There's
I will
people
say, yeah,
have-
it has dangers. You're dodging traffic all the
Mhm.
time.
So do you have to be physically agile? Are there age restrictions?
No age restrictions, not at all. But you do have to be able to hold your hands above your head and stand out in the streets for an extended period of time, about a half an hour each post.
How do you train your safety patrol officers for things like road rage, which, I mean, obviously people who are backed up in traffic at a school on their way somewhere, it can get a little bit hairy.
So there was actually an act back in 1992 that was actually passed that basically mandated a guideline per se for school crossing guards. It's kind of managed per se under the Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT. But again, that's the managing entity where it oversees the actual training guidelines that Supervisor Heburn and her crew actually put on for all the individual people. They do have direct access, of course, to the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. We still have our deputy sheriffs in the area. I mean, so again, we provide that extra layer of protection too on top of course, our school crossing guards.
And what's the application process like? Is a background check required? And how do people, I mean, if they're interested after listening to this, how do they reach out?
You reach out through www.sjso.org. Go into the careers little app, is it?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And fill out paperwork there. If you need to, I think HR will help you fill out a form as well if you don't have access to a computer. So
The other thing, Ann, I'd like to add too on top of that too, St. Johns County has 4 new K-8 schools under construction. We're opening 2 K-8s this school year in August. We have another K-8 opening next school year and then one the following year. So we just
Wow.
have to stay ahead of these posts because next year it's going to be a lot more posts than 98. So we're trying to stay ahead of these, of what we actually need and what our demand on personnel is going to be.
And you see that growth. I know that you were saying particular areas of need are in South St. Johns County, Catalinas area, Palencia, some in the Northwest, and it kind of maps pretty well with the growth that the county's experiencing. So that really is an issue, obviously, not just for schools, Sheriff, but for you and for everybody that lives there.
Sure, St. Johns County has grown to the north. I mean, it's grown the entire county, but of course, a majority of our population and growth, of course, is the north. So that's where 2 of these schools are actually, these K-8s are in the north. So it seems like our recruiting is a little bit more difficult in the south just because of just mere numbers and population. So absolutely, but we're looking for, of course, we try to put them as close as we can to their homes. But of course, we're looking for them all over the place. So we appreciate, of course, the applications
Yeah.
in the end.
Well, I so appreciate you all being here. Nancy Heburn, Wayne Smith, Sheriff Hardwick, it
Thank
was
you, Ann.
a pleasure to have all of you here.
We appreciate
Thank
you
you.
having us on.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day, everybody.
Sure. Take care.
Thank you.